Performance analysis. Ireland national men's pairs team. Ireland versus Australia. World Lawn Bowls final. About the game. The match is Australia versus Ireland in the World Lawn Bowls Men's Pairs Championship final. Conditions. The game played was 3 bowl pairs. Leads alternate to each play 3 bowls, then players swap ends and skips alternate to play their 3 bowls. Maximum shots that may be scored in any end is 6. There was a special condition of play. If an end is killed, the jack is replaced on the tee. Result, Australia won the game. About the teams. Ireland's team was skip Ian McClure and lead Gary Kelly. Australia's skip was Aaron Wilson and lead Brett Wilkie. All players are elite lawn bowlers who have represented their countries in World Bowls Championships as well as in the Commonwealth Games. Purpose of the analysis. Given that Australia won the game convincingly, the purpose of this analysis is to identify what went wrong for Ireland in its use of tactics and to provide advice so the team can improve its tactics for its next match against South Africa. Key performance indicators. How we measured performance. The focus of this analysis was on 5 performance indicators. These included draw bowl success, tactics used, attack versus defence, shots scored in an end, and jack length. Tactics recorded included cover, take shot out, trail the jack, and wait. It's impossible to identify what's in the bowler's mind as they bowl. One can only assume from the result and from their actions what was the intention. At this level of competition, and from the results, one can mostly assume the result was intended. There were 216 bowls played in the game and 17 jack rolls. The teams did not play all 18 ends. All bowls played were recorded. Quantitative analysis. The data. To draw bowls to the jack is the core of the game of lawn bowls. In this game, at the highest level of competition, the teams were very similar in their success rate. It should be noted, however, that Ireland's draw rate, compared with other tactics, was only 60% of that of Australia. The table here includes all bowls played, draw bowls and tactical bowls. Draw bowls make up around 80% of all bowls played. Success rates are very similar. Tactics. Draw bowls are not considered in this analysis to be tactics. The table here shows both teams played the same number of tactical bowls in the game. The data in the next slide shows the number of times each tactic was used, whether it was successful or not. It calculates the success rate for each team for each tactic used, then the proportion of time each tactic other than drawing was used by the team. The proportion multiplied by the success rate gives the used success rate. Here, the red shows percentage of time each tactics was used multiplied by the success rate of tactics to give an overall success rate. Australia was more successful on all tactics. Tactic average success, Australia 78%, Ireland 52%. Most successful tactics for each team were Australia cover 37% and Ireland wait 16%. Ireland's most successful tactic was to play wait. It was only 5% successful on all other tactics. Australia's most frequent tactic was defensive to cover bowls. Australia was 100% successful with defensive cover, though this was only used once. Ireland's most frequent tactic was to play wait. Both teams had just under 40% success at draw bowls, with Australia marginally higher. Attack tactics include take out shot, trail the jack and play wait. Defence tactics include cover opposition bowls and cover own shot bowl. Overall, of the tactics selected, Ireland chose to attack 95% of the time. Australia's choices between attack and defence were evenly balanced. This chart shows the relative frequency of attack tactics used by both teams. There was significant difference in the use of tactics by both teams in the two halves of the game. Australia tended to use defence tactics in the first half of the game, whereas Ireland relied on attack tactics in the second half of the game. Here we see the number and percentage of times attack tactics were used by teams in each half of the game. The highest number of shots Ireland scored in any end was 2, and then only on one end. All other ends Ireland scored 1 shot. Australia scored 3 shots on one end and 2 or 1 shots on 5 ends. Ireland was not successful to achieve multiple shot counts. The result of this was that Ireland elected not to play the last end as it was 11 shots behind and unable to make up the difference with the 6 bowls left to play. Here we see the number of shots scored, in how many ends that number was scored, and the total. Australia rolled 64% of its ends as long ends, 36% as medium and no short ends. Ireland rolled 17% long ends, 59% medium and 33% short ends. 55% of the ends Australia won were long ends, 36% medium ends and 1 short end. 50% of the ends Ireland won were medium length, with 33% long ends and 17% short ends. Ireland rolled more medium ends than other lengths. Qualitative findings. Observations of the analyst about the data. It's usual at this elite level of lawn bowls competition to have both teams successful at draw bowling. This is evident in this game, with both teams on around 40% success rate with draw bowls. Given this, it is surprising that Ireland elected so often to play tactics rather than draw bowls. To play tactics rather than draw meant that Ireland lost opportunities to score additional shots. This is evidenced in the comparatively low shot counts compared with Australia on each end won. Australia's heavy bowls were marginally higher than Ireland's. Heavy bowls are not necessarily a bad thing. Teams often bowl heavy as an opportunity to cover the opposition's bowls in case the jack moves, or to set up shots later to move the jack back themselves. This tactic is not often evident when bowled. Ireland rarely used weight to cover Australia's bowls. Let's recap what we try to achieve. In a game of pairs, conventional wisdom in lawn bowls says it's the job of the lead bowler to get 1 or 2 bowls on the jack and to score shots, and 1 just behind to cover in case the jack goes back. The role of the skip is to either draw to consolidate the head, or to use attack tactics to get the team out of trouble if the opposition has shot, or defensive shots to protect the team's shot bowls or cover the opposition's bowls to reduce their likelihood to pick up shots if the jack is moved. Conventional wisdom also suggests that teams under pressure will tend to favour attack tactics. This is sometimes the result of panic. For this analysis, a draw bowl to the jack is not considered an attack or defence tactic, but general play. Ireland's overall success rate with tactics was 7% compared with Australia's 15%. The tactic on which Ireland relied most was to play weight. Had Ireland elected to draw bowls instead in many cases, it would likely have resulted in a higher shot count on ends it won, and more ends won in total. Even though it's said that it's the skip's role to use tactics to get the team out of trouble, often the most appropriate choice is to draw a bowl closer than the opposition's bowl, rather than to choose to play weight, an attack tactic, to disrupt the head. We can see from the results below that when the skips elected to draw, they had similar results. However, when they elected to play attack, Australia's success rate was more than twice that of Ireland's, though Australia played weight around 1/3 of the time, as did Ireland. Here we see where the skips decide to draw or play weight, and the differences in success between the teams. Observation shows that most bowlers will bowl medium-length ends. However, top bowlers will be skilled to bowl long or short ends. Ireland only won ends it rolled twice in the game. Twice Ireland deliberately rolled short ends in an attempt to gain an advantage. Ireland's lead bowled well on short ends. Only one of those ends was won by Ireland. On end 10, Ireland's lead took shot with all 3 bowls. Here we see Ireland elects to move the mat back. Ireland's key strength was its ability to draw bowls to the jack. In particular, its lead plays well on short ends, able to draw close to the jack and frequently pick up shot. Ireland's key weakness was its tendency to play attack rather than draw, and to not use its bowls to cover opposition shots or protect its own shot bowls. Opposition analysis. The opposition. Ireland's next game will be against South Africa in the Commonwealth men's pairs. South Africa's team is skip Gerry Baker, lead Sean Adenall. Threats. In a recent match where South Africa played Australia, South Africa's skip was observed to play weight on 26% of the bowls he played. The success rate for weighted shots was 42%. This puts Ireland in danger to have their shot bowls taken out or to lose shots when the jack is taken back to South Africa's back bowls. Opportunities. Teams which play weight a lot tend to roll long ends. This gives them plenty of room to pick up shots at the back of the rink. Ireland plays well on short ends. To play short ends when Ireland has the mat will reduce South Africa's opportunity to benefit when it plays weight. Advice for upcoming match. The advice for Ireland to beat South Africa in the upcoming game is to play more defensively. Use weight to cover bowls rather than to attack. The team should aim for 2 to 3 shot bowls per end. This analyst recommends when Ireland has the mat, it plays short ends with the mat brought up to the 23-metre point. In this situation, the lead should bowl 2 bowls on the jack to score points, then 1 behind to cover. The skip can then bowl 1 bowl to the jack to consolidate, then draw the other 2 bowls to the back. This places bowls in the vicinity of the ditch should the jack be moved there. This strategy also plays to Ireland's strength, to bowl short ends. It also only leaves 2 metres behind the head. This limits the opposition opportunity to pick up shots if it moves it back when it plays weight. It's likely that South Africa, with a tendency to play weight and knowing Ireland's preference for short ends, will choose to roll long ends when it has the mat. In this case, Ireland should use its remaining 3 to 4 bowls to cover the ditch and South Africa's back bowls to guard against the team picking up shots should the jack be taken back.